Now why is it moving?
Maybe it's done. Maybe it's gonna rest now because it knows it's gotta come out tomorrow and meet you.
I found it.
Kaysen was born on July 26, 2013. During my pregnancy, I had no complications whatsoever.
The pregnancies between all three children seemed to be the same. There was never anything noticeable.
She was born via C-section, but everything went very well.
Kaysen was born with a very severe type of heart problem called cardiomyopathy, and she had symptoms on the first day of life when she presented with a severe cardiac condition where her heart stopped, and she needed to be placed on heart support within the first few days and was listed for a heart transplant.
So Kaysen actually had a heart attack while she was in the womb, and they think that she had a second heart attack very soon after being born.
When we got to the nursery, everybody was kind of commenting on her color.
They had done an echo in the nursery and saw that it showed poor function, so they wanted to transfer her immediately to Lurie Children's in Chicago.
Essentially, she had a condition where her heart muscles don't function as well, and the squeeze of the heart is suboptimal. And when that occurs, the child doesn't grow well, and their overall status is quite marginal.
I think about after 2 weeks of being in the hospital, we had found out that we were going to have to enlist in the transplant, that her heart wasn't going to cure itself.
She had muscle in her heart that had died, just like an adult would have a heart attack.
We provided support for her using medications, but that has its limitation. It can only go so far.
We were able to keep her stable in a critically ill medical state until she got her transplant about 6 weeks later.
Waiting was very hard. You were hoping for a miracle, but knew that something tragic had to happen.
Life really wasn't normal. Everybody was scattered, but you knew that you had to do your part to keep everybody equally happy, to keep your family together.
When we hear about a transplant, we get a call that a donor heart is available, and then we let the family know.
Her phone rang, and she ran outside and was acting very crazy, walking up and down the sidewalk.
Her mom had gone into the street and started screaming and yelling up and down the street, "It's time to go, it's time, it's time."
She came in with tears of joy, saying that that Kaysen was going to get her heart.
I really felt at ease that day, knowing that we were finally moving forward.
And I still remember that the parents went outside and saw when the ambulance came and brought the donor heart back to Lurie Children's Hospital.
Here's your new heart, baby girl. Oh my God.
The hardest part of that day was just knowing that somebody lost their life so our baby could survive.
Before her surgery, I talked to Kaysen, and you just do what a father does, and I just told her that everything was going to be okay and that she was going to get a second chance.
My recollection of this transplant is it went very smoothly. My other recollection is that we were concerned that she'd been on the breathing machine for so long that it would take a long time to get her off, but she actually came off much, much faster than we thought.
It was the fastest recovery I've ever seen.
She was a rock star.
Yeah.
Yeah, she just hit every milestone. You hope that a person who got a heart hits. A week out, you should be here. 2 weeks out, you should be here. And she just flew through all those.
Through all of them.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
She is one tough little girl. A heart transplant is a start, and there's other complications that are minor compared to that. And every time she comes out on top.
So what really held this family together is their tremendous love for their daughter and the support that they provide one another.
Without the American Heart Association, I'm sure that where we are now is not where we would be. We would be somewhere 10, 15 years back.
The government funding has decreased over the last few years and continues to decrease, so we really need to continue to have funding from the American Heart Association for this important research.
You know, as an individual clinician, I don't have the skill sets or the resources to do that. So to move the entire field forward, not just with clinical medicine and research, you need an organization like the American Heart Association. Our care is only as good as the support behind it.
Well, it certainly makes you realize the important things in life and just to be thankful for what you have.